Hello, everybody. I am Angry Bird, and we are back for a new Steel Division League cast today. And what a cast we have in store for you. We are here. We are at the grand final for Season 3 of Steel Division League. Division 1, the big boys. It's going to be Karma versus Gonzo, and it's a best of 5 between these two players to crown the Season 3 champion. Wow, I'm expecting a fantastic game today and a fantastic series between these two top players. Gonzo comes in as defending champion to defend his crown, and Karma comes in as the challenger to try and usurp Gonzo and possibly take it to 3 complete different winners in Season 1, 2 and 3 of Steel Division League. Wow, what a matchup we've got in store for us between these two top players. Karma has definitely proven himself worthy of being on the very tippity top of the mountain for Steel Division League, picking up fairly, what you would amount to say, fairly easy wins against Sean and soloing Pixie. So, or what at least look like comfortable wins. So we definitely know he deserves to be here, but can he do it on the grand stage in this best of 5? That's the question. 7th mech on the left-hand side for Karma, Vanguard income. He likes to start strong early. What's this 7th mech got in store for us? So we've got 90 units of infantry. We've got 68 tanks. 68 tanks. That's actually a fairly large amount of tanks. They are mostly T-34-76. I mean, they're almost all T-34-76. Looks like 60 T-34-76 tanks. The big ones on show, they're the ISU-122S. He's got 3 of those in total and 6 Su-85s. They can do a good job as well. In terms of the Air Force, we've got some PE-3 BIS starting us off in A phase, and then some PE-283s. I imagine they are the variant with the 500 kilogram loadout. So, Gonzo, defending champion. He's got the 26th guard Strelkovi today, flatline income. Gonzo definitely been preferring that flatline income choice. And just be aware the deck screenshots are current day, whereas the game was played a fair amount of time ago, so you can see the income differences. The game has just clicked off. Hopefully you've had a good chance to look at the decks. 83 units of infantry. The infantry numbers are definitely coming down. They are definitely coming down, but nowhere near the same number of tanks. However, Gonzo does have the KVs, and the KVs should be able to deal with T-34s fairly efficiently. He's also got the IL-237s, 2 of those planes in B phase. They can swoop in from the skies and deal with those T-34s as well. And Gonzo, wow, he's actually got some big artillery. The B4 203. He's got 4 of them in C phase. Will we see those come into the action? Will we see C phase? You're going to have to stay tuned to find out. And they're kicking off the action already. Let's just jump straight in on the southern side. The 52Ps unload up on the northern side. Ognamacheekis do push through, do manage to unload in time. I'm going to concentrate on the southern side for now. Snipers unloading from Gonzo, 3 of them in there, as well as the PTRS. 4 lots of, in fact, 5 lots of snipers were in there. So a very sniper-heavy start. Try and take down any early AT guns, 52Ps, PE-3 BIS on the way there. Gonna take care of, well, 2 groups of snipers gone down now, but the 52P is going to go down in exchange. IS-1 Komroti down to the southern side, early Yak-1B coming in from Gonzo, but there is a Zenart 37mm in there as well. Razvedka down onto the southern side for Karma, along with Strelky and SVTs. Let's just quickly check up to the northern side. Looks like both sides kind of covering their flag up on the north. M42 gun up there from Karma. Very rare for people to attack down that northern side, so perhaps not quite as an efficient choice there down on the south. Ogmachiki's going to start engaging the After Machiki in here. And the counter Ogmachikas, and it looks like Gonzo is going to win this engagement with those Avtos and the Guardias, following up his Ogmachiki. Wins it convincingly as well. The Guardias exchange fire with the Razvedka, and that is not what you want to see. Those Razvedkas, they're there for the bazookas, so you want to keep them, you know, out of the action if at all possible. Bomber P3 coming in there to hit the Avtos and the Guardia. Sorry, no, the Avto and the Ogmachiki in there. I'm kind of surprised he didn't target the two Guardia squads. Apologies, my my UI has changed here to show the groups of units. So I will fix that for the next engagement. If you give me a moment, I will fix that for us. Guardia Komroti goes down early. IS-1 Komroti has not got into the action. I wonder whether Gonzo's aware of the ISU-122, whether he's just microing his units intensely, that he's not had time to use that IS-1 Komroti. No real movement up on the north. It's all about this southern side right now, and Gonzo eventually forced back. I have to say, I thought with that push up in this northern little forest of the southern side, I thought Gonzo was going to make it, but it seems like it's a stalemate between both sides, and Gonzo now going to bring in the IS-1 Komroti. It is going to face off against that ISU and the T-34. It's a big engagement between those two tanks, because whichever one goes down could swing this early portion of the game. Guardia Komroti coming in to upvet the remaining Guardia in here for Gonzo. And the ISU and T-34 starts to get to work on the compound, trying to get rid of the sniper, the PTRS-41, and the Guardia that was moving in there. Replacement Ogmachiki's coming down to the southern side, as well as a Strelky. Big engagements early on, and so far, a fairly decent stalemate. Gonzo will prefer this at the moment, being on that flatline income, compared to the Vanguard income. Karma will want to make grounds early. And so I think Gonzo will prefer it thus far. IS-1 Komroti moving into a ground to challenge anything down here. Perhaps the T-34 moving out. So avoiding the fight with the ISU-122S for now. But the T-34 does have a decent position to engage infantry on the in that tree line. The IS-1 is going to come into face off against that T-34. PTRS firing on the Strelky SVT. Karma might lose that unit and does so in the transport, so important to keep those PTRS alive if you can. One of the Guardias goes down. Engagement now between the IS-1 and the T-34. The IS-1 is bound to win this engagement. Shoot a kill. The T-34 gets away with it. And where are those Razvedkas? They did go down earlier, so they can't hit that IS-1 with the bazooka. Karma forced to fall his infantry back into the cover of the forest, and Gonzo going to move up for now. That ISU and the other T-34, they need to start getting involved in the battles. A second Zenart 37mm coming up to help Karma out, and a ZSU M15 to help Gonzo out. So both of these players worried about the early bombers coming in, the fighter bombers on the side of Gonzo with the Yaks, and the PE3 on the side of Karma. Oh, looks like the T-34 is going for a side shot onto the IS-1. Will he get it? Oh, no, the IS-1 is going to get a... Yeah, it's going to turn frontal armor, and the T-34 does reverse back away. Intense engagement down on the south. The ISU and the T-34 are moving forwards now. Looks like the PE3s do come in. The Yak-9 fighter coming in from Gonzo, trying to take care of those units. There is the ZSU M15, but the PE3s, they are fairly resilient, so they should just get away with that with only one AA unit down there. It is a weakness of the 26th. They don't get a hell of a lot of AA. Oh, look at this. Pincer engagement from Karma. He's trying to get the IS-1, but the T-34 surely is going to go down up north before this T-34 on the south starts to engage. There is the KV-1E in now as well from Gonzo, and I think that's a missed. Yeah, it was just too early on the northern T-34. The southern one just wasn't in position to engage. Could have had almost a rear shot at that point. Razvedka do come in now, and that can help out with those bazookas. If Karma hadn't lost the early Razvedka, he might have been able to already hit that IS-1 Komroti, but so far it looks like Karma has made ground in the south, and he has started to establish a fairly decent foothold here. KV-1E comes up the hill. But the Razvedka, if they do manage to unload and get into position, they can take that KV-1E out. So Gonzo does have to be careful. M42 gun is now getting in position to hit the reinforcement. The ZSU M15 just manages to get out of there. I don't know whether Gonzo lost something, or perhaps that M42 gun fired, but it was a good choice. If not, looks like the ISU might take on the, ISU versus IS-1. KV-1E goes down to the bazooka there. ISU engaging. These tanks are actually fairly similar with the reload time. Oh, take each other out! Take each other out! Wow, Gonzo is definitely going to lose out with that. And now, if I was Karma, I would be booting it forwards on the back of this. Because that IS-1 was a big, big presence on the southern side, and you know that Gonzo was relying on it. So Karma's got to make use of this big kill that he got there. He did, and here it comes. The Strokey SVTs do push forward. The KV-1E is in position to provide the crossfire, though, and those Strokey might go down. First shot is missed. Are they going to make it into position? If they do, Karma unloads one of the Strokey SVTs. The other two should get into position, and it's a big pickup for Karma down on this southern side. Wow, what an intense engagement so far. Gonzo bringing quite a few Guardias here to try and push back on foot into this position, but it feels like he may have lost this southern side. ISU 152 coming in here for Gonzo. The ISU 122S did go down, so that ISU 152 can, do a job down here for him if he sits it on this ridge line, perhaps here on this ridge line. It does have a decent amount of range, so it can do a decent job for him. I think Gonzo may look to engage in the north now he's lost that IS-1 in the south, certainly preparing for something after Machiki's coming in to reinforce the center with the T-34 pushing through, as well as the Strokey DPs. Ooh, P40KM picks up the Yak-1B kill. Oh, and the ZSU M15 kill. I think it was a combination of the P3 and the P40N that finished it off there, but yeah, really taking care of that air with the 6 50 cals on that P40 of Denisov. Circling back around, will it be able to come back down and strafe some of the infantry? 42 units or soldiers of infantry in that position, but no, doesn't quite get that strafing run together. 52P starting to come through the forest, launches a shell at that ISU. In comes the strafing run from the P40N. The skies are in control of Karma right now. Second ZSU M15 coming in. We have just hit B phase. So Gonzo does now have the income advantage, although it's still around about another 10 minutes or so. 10 to 15 minutes before he actually takes over the overall income advantage from Karma, and it feels like he's preparing a move, especially with the off map coming in on the northern side. I think if Gonzo is going to make the flags back, that northern side is very important for him. Currently getting strafed down in the southern side, but the ZSU finally comes in. M42 gun challenging the ISU. It is not going to stand a chance against that, and I think Karma's pulled it back. Karma's pulled it back. There's no way he can defeat that. After Machiki's come into the forest and they're looking for engagements here, should be able to take care of the Strokey DP and actually finish off the M42 gun and M52P as well. So Gonzo is going to remain in control of the central forest. Karma does order in counter Avtos, but plenty of Guardias coming in here for Gonzo as well. And look at the movement. He has now changed it to an attack move order. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Karma currently got some squads, just not really being used. I think he was going to try and reinforce this southern town, but the units have been destroyed. So Gonzo has made back this southern flag, and it's a 13-11 off-map placed up north. Gonzo's definitely going to try a push there. Karma does decide to reinforce. I think he established the south, so he knows Gonzo's going to try and push the north. In comes a PE to hit the Guardias in the center. Does do some significant damage. Kills 5 soldiers in there and retreats to fight another day. Second PE3 on the way. I think this is a fire position command. Doesn't quite know the exact position. Nope, he has picked up the Guardia there. So it does manage to hit that. That wasn't an auto strike, was it? With the yellow circle around it. Someone's going to have to confirm or deny that. Oh, the off-map does come down up north. Apologies, we didn't quickly miss that. But everything pinned down after Machiki's pushing forwards. KV-1E's in support, and Gonzo should make some decent ground on this northern side. He already has the 3rd ZSU M15 in there. I'm not sure whether that's the only 3 that he has in his deck, but it's usually only 3 of those units available. 1 in A phase and 2 in B phase. We should have a look at that and see whether that is the case. Yep, that's it. All of his anti-air now out onto the ground for Gonzo. So no more anti-air remaining. He's going to have to use fighters. If he has fighters, let's take a look at that as well. Yes, he does. Well, he's only got 2 of those Yak 9 dedicated fighters. We have seen 1 up to now, but the others are fighter bombers. He can still rely on those. After Machiki's in a pitched engagement between each other, KV-1E finally uncovering the M42 gun. I said it's rare for people to push down this side, but I guess I was wrong. Guess I was mistaken, because the KV-1E does come off the road. He's trying to get a line of sight down this road here, I believe. I believe that's Gonzo's intention, but he does now spot that M42 gun. Slight mistake on the reverse, but corrects that. Ooh, being engaged from 2 sides with the T-34E nearly getting the side shot. The KV-1E will get out, though, and the M42 gun will not be able to penetrate frontally against that KV-1E. Certainly without APCR. Does have APCR on, so might actually inflict a critical here. But the KV-1E does stay in position for that M42 gun to fire on it. Second off map does come down for Gonzo. And the KV-1E in the more center position of the town getting involved. After Machiki's push forward, capture the southern flag. Gonzo goes 13-11 up now. 15 minutes elapse in this game. And Gonzo has lost a fair number of tickets, but is currently in the lead. After Machiki pushing forwards, they are 3-star, backed up by the Guardia Comrotti and a Commander, surely. No, must have brought them in 2-star. Must have brought them in 2-star. Unless he's a commander somewhere that I haven't quite noticed yet. T-34 goes down, helped out by the OB-25, covering it. P3 does come in. There is the ZSU M15. P40KN looking to get on the back of that Yak 9 and actually should get in the kill here. Gonzo does manage to just avoid that. I think he called that away. And yeah, good job. And the P3 does come in to take care of the OB-25 on the ridgeline. Oh, does get the kill there. Definitely easier to take out the infantry guns and the AT guns rather. Oh, the P40N goes down. The P40N goes down to the ZSU M15, and the Yak 9 should finish up with the kill. Yes, beautiful. Beautiful kill. Wow, Karma has got a couple of units waiting to head into this town, but what amazing kills from Gonzo there with the ZSU M15 and the Yak 9. Beautiful. Sturmoviki Rocks coming in, and they should be able to help clear out the after Machiki. Gonzo has made some fantastic ground in the north, but we are back to a 12-12. Karma picks up the center ground, perhaps, as Gonzo has been microing hard up north, and he does look to pick up the northern flag as well. Karma back to a 13-11. 24 minutes to continue with this game. 14-10. And if he holds out, he will pick up the first victory against Gonzo. Off map coming in from the KV-1E KAO. 203mm off map here. Karma's troops equally as hit by these off-map explosions. Ooh, Guardia go down there. Oh, and no, the Guardia do unload. I thought they went down in the transport. They do unload. The KV-1A nearly get taken out by a side shot from the M42 gun. Oh, but the southern one went down to a grenade. A grenade from the stroke. He takes down that, well, central KV-1A in that city. Does take away some of that tank base support from Gonzo's unit after Machiki being hit by the KV-1A, the Su-85s, as well as the strokey DP, caught between a rock and a hard place there. Is that the saying? Did I get that right? But yeah, Gonzo is looking a little bit weaker on the ground now. A lot of his units in this push have gone down. His units in the center really weak, nothing really covering. And down south, you know, without the tanks, I guess he's got these 2 units here. I think it's because of the UI that I'm losing some of the units here. We will get that fixed for the next game. It's because I've been able to do some testing on the new patch. So, unfortunately, the UI updates when that happens. And I've forgotten, I didn't realise. So, it's not been changed back before the start of this cast. Second off-map from the KV-1A KO 203mm, and it's placed perfectly onto Gonzo's units. A lot of them having to retreat after Machiki's going to go down if they don't retreat. Reinforcing Guardias coming in here to protect the flag, but Karma definitely pushing back, and he's got a lot of after Machiki's coming in. He's going for it. He wants those city flags. Guardia's going to take care of the after Machikis at range. Karma going to lose that. He does have 2 T-34s here against the 1 of Gonzo, so he should win that engagement. ISU-122S in for Karma versus the ISU-152 of Gonzo. Will those engage against each other? Looks like they may well do that. Especially if Karma sees it and micros it down. Let's try and compare these 2 units. Rate of fire for the ISU is 4 rounds a minute, whereas it's 3 rounds a minute for the 152. So the ISU-122S should have the advantage. It looks like Karma's pulling back here. Doesn't want to lose it. Doesn't want to lose that ISU-122S. Being very careful about the engagement. Up north, just look at the reinforcements that have come in for both sides, actually. Both sides reinforcing well. T-34Es of Gonzo coming in now. Third off map. I believe that's a third off map coming down now. Looks like a surrender from the Stalemate rocks onto a unit of infantry there. Who is going to get away with the ultimate victory in here for Karma? He looks like he has a hell of a lot in this town. Stalemate rocks just breaking cover, moving out into the open. Kind of surprised that's happening. I think Gonzo's trying to pick up this rear flag. Or see whether there's anything there. KV-1E pushing forwards. It has now used all of the off maps, so it is able to push forward. And it is a decent tank as well. Fairly expensive, but it's still a KV-1E. Su-85 pushing forwards as well. The Guardia Comrotti's here, but it's pinned down. They can't quite see it yet. It's now seen and surrendered. Very advanced movements from those Su-85s. They could go down at this range to the T-34s. They have the fire rate. Ooh, gun jam onto the T-34E, but the other one does have the fire rate to kill that Su-85 at this kind of range. Yeah, it goes down. Kind of surprised Karma used that in unit in that way. It's much better fighting at longer range. I'm kind of surprised he didn't push it out. Perhaps, you know, to try and get a shot onto this reinforcing road down here. I think that Su-85 just does not fight well at close range. Because it just has such a slow rate of fire, the 5 rounds a minute. I guess, well, I guess actually it isn't quite as slow as I was thinking. But the T-34E might get the one-shot kill. Oh, driver kill. I think the T-34E is going to pick it up here. Oh, Gonzo backs off. Gonzo backs off. I'm really surprised. Oh, but he goes down to the off-map. It was either off-map or on-map artillery. Must have been off-map. Must have been off-map. But where has that come from? There is the off-map still going on here. Unless it's the original KV-1E off-map that was on a barrage setting. Wow. Might have killed his own man there. Karma might have just killed his own tank. But Karma down here in the south has such a commanding position. Such a commanding position, especially if this Guardia unit goes down. I mean, Gonzo doesn't have a lot behind, and Karma could start probing the position. Because the ZSU could easily get taken down here in the south. Gonzo does try and probe the center. And he does pick up the southern flags once again with the movement of the Guardias. Wow, intense engagements between these two players, but Karma's got the 13-11, will win in 18 minutes, and it definitely feels like he's on top right now. Gonzo has the income advantage. It is going to start to come more and more into play, but Karma so far, he's made that Vanguard work. He has lost some tanks in here. So if that T-34 goes down, he might start to lose out. Because the tanks could start to come into play. You know, we see the KV-1E, sorry, the KV-85 take out that unit of Strokey or finish it off. Looks like it's an engagement between the T-34E and the T-34-76. This T-34E took a big hit from the Su-85 earlier. So one hit and it should go down, whereas the T-34-76 should survive. So Gonzo, I think he's going to lose that T-34E here. I think it's going to go down. Yeah. I thought that engagement was always going to go Karma's way. Just because that T-34 took a massive hit from the Su-85 earlier. Combat finally coming in from Gonzo to continue the veterancy game on this northern side. I'd like to see... Well, no. I think it's just a big stake between who can really continue reinforcing and gain a massive foothold in this in this northern city. It's just KV-85 faces off against T-34. The T-34 should go down. Karma backs it off. Sensible decision there, especially because that did get hit by the T-34E earlier as well. So one more hit and that thing should go down. Yak 9B coming into play. Strikes down at the Strelkey, but it might go down to the Zen. Yeah, it does go down to the Zenart. I was going to say it's flying straight towards that Zenart. So it does go down there. The P3 did get its bombs away. I think it suppressed something up here. Look at the T-34 racing forwards, trying to pick up some surrenders. Ooh, Gonzo just moving his ZSU out. I think actually the T-34 raced forward to try and get the ZSU kill, but Gonzo perfectly microing that out the way. KV-85 now coming into counter the T-34-76. Really intense engagement, showing the skill of these two players. I love it. Strategic and tactical all at the same time. So it's a bounce earlier onto the T-34-85. That was the first hit from the KV-85, but it should finish it off if it gets the chance. Reinforcers coming in from Gonzo, and he has managed to reinforce his center position. T-34-76 being beared down upon by a lot of units of Guardias. Will they get into position to get that AT grenade off? I don't think so. Karma has just reversed it in time, but Gonzo's picked up the position. Oh, it does go down to a shot from the T-34E there. Gonzo has bided his time long enough. Karma hasn't reinforced that center ground, and Gonzo's been able to come at it. 15-9 to Karma, though. He's picked up the two city flags and the one on the bridge. So the pressure is still on Gonzo. 7 minutes left in this game. They should be able to finish off the SG-43s here, though. Although, with 4 SG-43s getting involved, the T-34E is really all their hope. These Guardias could come down into this position to avoid fire from the SG-43s over the other side of the hill. And a couple of supporting T-34Es coming in there, but Gonzo is going to start running out of tanks. He is going to start running out of tanks. You don't get a hell of a lot in the deck. Let's see how many he does have. Yeah, you see, he only has those B-phase cards. We've seen quite a lot of T-34s. I still think he has some KV-85s left on him. He's certainly bringing in a KV-1E there as well. So he has some. He has some, but he is going to start to run out. And remember, Karma had so many. 68 in total, so surely he still has a lot of T-34s left. ISU 122S coming up to the northern side, and that might want to push forward, like I said. Get down into, you know, this reinforcing road. I can't quite get on it. It's a really finicky line of sight, but you can get on here and pick up that kind of position to fire on the reinforcing units. I'd like to see him do that. I really would like to see him do that. 52p getting involved now. Gonzo's still pushing this position, has managed to get rid of one of the SG-43s, but it's given chance to Karma to get reinforcements into position. There are another couple of T-34Es coming into the top of that center hill. The Guardia have been discovered and will be dispatched. Not a lot on this hill. And is that KV-1E taking fire from somewhere? Possibly. I think it might have been the 52p up on the ridgeline. The IS is just moving forwards and forwards. It is going to face off against an ISU 152. And we talked about that engagement earlier. Karma's T-34 goes down, and Gonzo definitely has the tank advantage in this center field, and it can now start to clear up the supporting units of Karma. I definitely think Gonzo has advantage in this center side. He just needs a couple more units because his infantry have, you know, been picked apart. He just needs a couple of infantry units in there. Sturmoviki Rocks make a break for the flag, and Karma's pushed back to a 13-11. There's 13 minutes left on the clock. I still think it's advantage Karma right now, but Gonzo is fighting and fighting hard. Strokey trying to push through for the flag. Also trying to pick up the surrender as soon as those Guardia get suppressed enough. They will pick up the surrender. Sturmoviki Rocks just unleash hell on the Strokey, trying to take cover in that church. Pin them down, but they won't surrender because of the Strokey, you know, adjacent to them. But those Sturmoviki Rocks, they don't care. They get the kill. Stop firing on the other Strokey. What a fantastic move from these Sturmoviki Rocks. They are clearing up infantry after infantry, but they are starting to go down. 2-star Sturmoviki Rocks doing the job. The infantry here, I don't know whether it's killed or surrendered by these Strokey, but the second unit of Sturmoviki Rocks moves down and immediately takes care of them. Wow, Gonzo dispatching 3 units in significant positions there. The Sturmoviki Rock definitely did the job, but the ISU is protecting this reinforcement road. It kind of leaves the KV-1E in a difficult position. It's going to have to see how Gonzo decides to get rid of that ISU, but the KV-85 does come in now. That can do the job. It's going to want to get to closer range, but this kind of position here, 607, well, it's probably about 750 meter range, that could do the job. That could do the job. Off map from Karma, the second KV-1E, KO 203 millimeters. He is going to pick up, wow, look at Gonzo taking the flag on the compound on the hill there. But the Strokey are going to come in. They are going to face off against Sturmoviki. We've seen them do a fantastic job. Immediately dispatch one of the units in the transport. 8 men versus 22. As long as Karma doesn't engage too close, yep, he stopped those units. Gonzo needs to pull back from that position. He's going to lose those Sturmovikis. Oh, look at that. The T-34Es come over the hill and down into the valley. The ISU has gone down. But the ISU on Gonzo's side also has gone down. Possibly took each other out. M42 gun takes out the T-34 on the hill, and the close range M42 from Karma takes down the other one. Whew. I'm glad we caught that engagement on the southern side because, wow, that was... Gonzo was nearly breaking through to the rear lines. That could have been some big kills. Oh, and he's trying to push through here to the compound in the southern plateau, but I don't think he's going to make it. Yak 9B coming in to try and take care of those M42s. They do manage to get through the Xenar and get the kill, dispatching one of them. There is still another one in here. And Gonzo should take care of this position. As long as the KV-1E doesn't get into grenade range, they should take care of that position fairly effectively. 15-9, back to Karma again. But it is going to drop once more. 6 minutes left on the clock. It's been full-blown action from the start of this game. Now, what a start to the grand final series we've got. Oh, these SVTs, they do regain stealth, but the Guardia should uncover them because that KV-1A is moving close. It is very close. I'd actually like to see whether Karma... Oh! He moves back. He's trying to get that KV-1E closer. I'd have actually liked to see him charge that KV-1E. I think he could have got away with that if he'd have charged forwards. Because Gonzo, I think he's realised he's not going to push forwards into that little area. He's going to wait for his reinforcing Guardia to come forwards. And the supporting T-34E as well. He has the flag, and that's the important thing for Gonzo. Brings it back to a 14-10, 13-11. Wow, this is close. This is real close. But a lot of Strelkies come in there. T-34E goes down. Combat caught in the blast. ZSU is in here. That might go down as well. KV-85 edging forwards. Guardia Conrotti goes down there. Ooh, the Strelky are going to unload close to that KV-1A. Yep, 80 grenade thrown in. That goes down. 4 units of Strelky all in one spot. Take care of the unit of rifles there. And the Strelky are going to push forwards as well. Oh, they're going to go for the KV-85 kill. T-34-76 following up as well. That's fast moving down the road. Oh, he's going to get the combat kill. This is a massive move from Karma. I think this is going to seal the deal. I think this is going to seal the deal because the northern side has collapsed for Gonzo. Everything's gone down. The ZSU is retreating. Just 1 unit of Guardia holding up. The combat is on the front lines, but it's heavily suppressed. Gonzo now falls it back. If Karma seeks sight of that, he may just fast move that T-34 pushing forwards, and we see a great armored thrust there from Karma. And yeah, what a fantastic dispatch of Gonzo's units up on the northern side. What a fantastic move from Karma, and I feel like that might be the end of it. That might be the move that seals it for Karma, because he has thoroughly taken control of this northern side, and Gonzo just cannot respond to that. It's gonna take him a significant amount of time to bring in enough units to respond to that attack. PE3, I think I was chasing the Yak 9B there. The southern side, Gonzo has really started to fall back. Perhaps he can make a similar move. If the M42 gun goes down, there are 2 T-34s up on this hill. But yeah, maybe he could make some kind of push on the southern side. Yak 9B gonna come into, oh, hit the M42, so another one did come in there for Karma. Karma really likes to rely on the M42 guns. I see him taking quite a few cards of these. Let's see how many he's got in his deck. I think it's all about the, oh no, he does only have 6 in his deck, so he just used them sparingly. But they do often pick up side shots on tanks where they're just not expected to do so. T-34s engaging their KV's counterparts, but there is a bit of crossfire here with the T-34s down here as well. Oh, the M32 gun up on the hill there. So Gonzo's tanks, they are in a little bit of trouble here. They need to dispatch those T-34s as well as they can, or as quickly as they can. One of them goes down, Karma retreats the other one. They can now face frontal armor to the M42, so they will no longer be at real danger of losing tanks to that gun. Gonzo, it does look like he can push back into this hill. Karma's got the 16-8, taking full control of this northern town. There's 3 minutes left on the clock. OB-25 goes down, and that's the big unit controlling territory in the center compound. So it should go to 17-7, and Karma has to pick up this game now. It is Karma's game to lose. He's bringing in reinforcing tanks. As long as he can shut down this southern push, then Karma has this game sewn up. 17-7, 2 minutes 30 left on the clock. Karma is going to pick up first blood in this best of 5 final, but if this game is anything to go by, we are going to have a magical best of 5 between these two players. Look at Gonzo really start to push and really start to try and make a breakthrough in this southern and central area, but I think Karma is going to shut it down. He is going to shut down the center area. All of his reinforcements are going to come in here. He has full control of the north. He's got the 15-9. There's 2 minutes left. The T-34 does go down. I think that was the Yak-9B that managed to pick it off, but there are still enough infantry units to hold the area. Gonzo is still making a big effort. Maybe it's not quite over, but it really feels like it's over. It really feels like it's over, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it isn't over yet. Don't count Gonzo off. We know this with the Presta John games. Gonzo is very good at just keeping himself in the games, and look at him moving. The T-34 is going to start to cut off the northern town, and perhaps he could retake the center position. There are enough T-34s right now. A lot of infantry reinforcements coming in to try and hold positions for Karma. It's still at 15-9. There's 1 minute 16 on the clock. Wow, maybe this isn't over. The T-34E up on the north is now surrounded. There are 3 T-34s that are going to face off against it. Oh, this is intense. I still don't think Gonzo can do it. It's 1 versus 3 up here. This is a big engagement. Somehow this T-34E, no, it goes down. It goes down. It goes down. And Gonzo's tanks, I think, are going to start to get picked off. The KV-1E is desperately pushing forwards. I'm kind of surprised Karma just didn't go for a... Yeah, he is now going for the AT grenade, but I think he should have fast moved onto it or tried to unload. Gonzo now reversing. IL-237 clears up the 2 tanks in the center. If only that had come in a moment sooner. AT grenade gets thrown. Will the tank go down? Yes, it does. Oh my days. The KV-85 goes down on the southern side, and that might be enough for Karma. 44 seconds left on the clock. Can the KV-1E dispatch the T-34 on the north? Well, in the central position, that might re-establish some control over the front line, but it's 15-9. 15 seconds left on the clock. The KV-1E has to do the job. It has to do the job here against the T-34-76. I don't think it's going to be possible. 13-11. It went to 13-11. Then there's 10 seconds left on the clock. Can Gonzo somehow pull it off? Oh, no. No, he can't do it. Karma wins it. Karma wins it. 38 minutes. 90 seconds. What a finish. 4,600 kills to 4,000 losses. Man, what a start. What a start to this grand final. Man alive, are we going to have some good games between these two players. I cannot wait to see the rest of them, and I hope you cannot wait either. Wow. What a start. What a start. But I believe that northern push from Karma, where he sealed that northern city once and for all, that really did seal the deal for him. 16-8. I think it was 17-7 at one point. And Gonzo was desperately trying to break through on that southern side, and he nearly managed it. He nearly managed it right at the end to kind of keep himself in the game, but just wasn't enough, and it was Karma's game today. Will it be Gonzo's game next time? Who knows? Who knows? Let's have a look at the... if I get the right page. The kills for Karma. The P3 Biss picks off some units. Did pick off the ZSU M15 down on the southern side in the early game. It wasn't the P40M that strafed it. It was the P3 bombing strike that picked off that vehicle. We did see a lot of airstrikes in the early game from Karma, but actually once he'd kind of taken care of a lot of Gonzo's units, we didn't see as many. We didn't see as many after that point. The ISUs, I think they did enough of the job in the game for Karma. There was the big engagement between the ISU and the IS-1 where they took each other out. Oh, this one here though, ISU-122S takes out 2 ISU-152s, so definitely proving itself the better in those engagements. The off-map, I think that sealed the deal in that northern city, and it just shows why those off-maps are so strong. If you do manage to land that off-map and then immediately, you know, pull an armoured thrust through along with supporting infantry at the right time and the enemy's caught off guard, you can totally swing a position. That's why we love off-maps. That is why we love off-maps. ISU down here takes out 3 KV-85s. Nice work from that ISU as well. The ISUs definitely did the job in this game. They definitely did the job. And I think we missed the kill onto the IS-1. Unless it was something else that took out that IS-1. I'm sure it was the ISU, wasn't it? Where is the IS-1? Where is the IS-1? Oh, I don't think it shows because it died after its killer died. So I don't think it appears. I remember there's somebody's been posting this in the Discord forums recently. So the IS-1 definitely died to the ISU-122S, but they took each other out. The ISU-122S died first. So because that had already died, the IS-1 technically, because of the way that replays work, it didn't have a killer. So it doesn't appear on the losses because it doesn't have a killer, if that makes... Hopefully you understand that. Let's see whether it appears in the chronology. It shouldn't appear here either. Here you go. See, here's the IS-1 taking out the ISU. But because that ISU had died like a second before the IS-1 died, it doesn't appear because the killer had already died. Hopefully you understand that. Anyway, that was a brief side sheet. A brief side sheet? A brief side thing, whatever you want to call it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Definitely don't miss these finals. Karma takes the early 1-0 lead and, wow, puts himself in pole position to become champion of Season 3. Will he be able to do it? Will Gonzo be able to turn things around? You'll have to subscribe and keep in tune with other videos to find out the results. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I will fix the UI for next time. And please come again. Thanks very much, guys. Bye-bye.